Welcome everybody to another vlog. Thank you for joining me this week. I don't know where to start with this vlog because a lot's happened in the last couple of days. I'm actually on the trail to Sol Duc Falls, which is in the Olympic National Park, and I wasn't actually planning on coming to the Olympics, but due to a bunch of circumstances, we've ended up here. In a nutshell, what happened is I went down. We're going to head down to the Redwoods with my friend Paul. Paul flew in from the UK, and I was going to pick him up in Seattle. And on the way down, and I got to the airport, SeaTac Airport, and there he was waiting for me. We threw his stuff in the van, and wouldn't you know it, the damn van broke down again. So it couldn't have been in a worse spot either. Anyway, cut a long story short, ended up having the van towed all the way back to Vancouver, Canada. Luckily, I learned from my last experience getting the van towed, and I had premium membership with AAA or BCAA, so the tow didn't cost me anything. But you know, it was more of an inconvenience than anything. So I'm struggling a little bit because I think it's time to get a new vehicle, and I'm not really sure which way to go with that. I really don't want to spend an awful lot of money on a vehicle because the logging roads that I'm usually driving on just wreck any kind of vehicle you have. So I ended up going back to Vancouver, and I left Paul at the border, and I went and grabbed luckily I have another car, an old Prius, so we're traveling around in that, but that means, you know, car camping, which isn't that bad, it's just a bit inconvenient. So anyway, we've ended up in the Olympic National Park. Figured, oh well, you know, we really wanted to get out and take some photographs rather than driving all the time, so we've come down here, and I haven't been to the Olympics for probably 15-20 years, so it's about time that I came back here. It's an absolutely stunning national park, and this is our first evening, so we've come down to Sol Duc Falls. And of course, Sol Duc Falls is quite a popular place for people to visit, so we come down in the evening. It's starting to thin out a little bit, but I wanted to get away from the crowds, and I found this beautiful bunchberry flowering, and there's quite a lot of it on the trail in, so I'm going to concentrate on that tonight. So I'll show you my composition really quickly. It's just absolutely beautiful to look at, and the light is quite soft right now, so it has these beautiful textures on the leaves. It's a really nice quality light. So let's show you really quickly what I'm looking at here. Okay, as you can see, the light is just beautiful. I love the sheen on these leaves here. And the flowers are just so, I don't know, clean, white looking. This spot here is a little bit empty, but I don't know, I kind of like it. The one thing I'm just trying to make sure is that I have the camera more or less on the same plane of focus as the flowers. And what I mean by that is, so you might have, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowers, and the idea is to try and get your camera back parallel to the tops of those flowers the best you can. So if the flowers are, say, on that angle, then rather than pointing straight down on them, you would have your camera at an angle over here, so you're looking down at the angle of, you know, the focus plane. And the reason you do that is because, you know, even if I stop down to f16, it'd be very difficult to get everything in sharp focus. I could do it focus stacking, but I'd rather just do it all in one shot. Sometimes when you're at a different angle, say I don't know, I was down here shooting across, then obviously I would probably have to focus stack if I wanted every flower in sharp focus. But this way I'm just shooting straight down on them, so I'm trying to get the camera just parallel with the tops of the flowers. It's a pretty simple shot, but I just love photographing bunchberry. And of course in the fall all of these flowers will turn into red berries. Well, good morning everybody. Hope you're all doing great. I had a good night's sleep last night. I think I'm starting to relax after the stresses of dealing with this blasted van of mine. We went to the waterfall last night. It was okay. I mean, it's a beautiful spot, but I had a bit of a hard time finding some new angles on it. On the way back though, we decided to go down this side trail. This trail actually goes back down to the campground, and coming down this trail here, there is some absolutely beautiful bunchberry, really large clumps of it, tons of compositions. So this morning it's a cloudless sunny day, so we've gotten up early, Paul and I, and we decided to come here and try our luck along this trail here. So I think this morning I'm just going to concentrate all on bunchberry. There's some really nice ferns and some other foliage, shrubs and such, so that's what I'm concentrating on. Try to come up with a little body of work of all of these different flowers, but the same flowers but different compositions. My first composition was one that I actually found last night, and I did take some photographs of it, but I wanted to return to it because I felt like I was in a bit of a rush. It's just beautiful. There's some really great ferns here, and in the center of the ferns we have some bunchberry kind of spread out throughout. So the foliage has different textures, which is what I really like. I'll probably take some images where it's just bunchberry, but of course then that's just more or less a pattern shot. So I like to break it up a little bit if I can, and I think this is a great start to doing that. So I'm just going to get set up and I'll show you the composition. Well, I think this is a really good start to the day. As you can see, there's some really massive Douglas fir surrounding me, beautiful light coming through the trees, and all along the trail here, bunchberry everywhere. So lots to photograph here. The composition I have right now, I really love it. I hope there's no reason why it shouldn't turn out the way I'm looking at it, but the only thing that is perhaps that I'll have to do is do a little bit of focus stacking, because I'd really like to get everything in sharp focus in this image. Sometimes it doesn't matter if some things are out a little bit, but in this case it'd be really nice. So this fern here is quite a bit forward than this, so I'd have to focus on this, and then in here, and then in here. So 3 or 4 images focus stacked should do the trick. A couple of things I try to keep an eye on. This little guy back here, he fills that hole in there, so I wanted to show the whole flower, so I had to move over to the left to make sure I got it in. This flower here is probably the main attraction, and these little star flowers here. I just love the way that the ferns all move around this little grouping here. I did want to include the top of this, but as soon as I do that, I guess I could take a shot of that as well. Maybe I'll take one with the top of that in there as well. But yeah, really nice little grouping. Good start to the day. There is definitely something to be said when it comes to mental health and photography. As I said, the last couple of days have been a bit stressful, but as soon as you get in the woods and start looking for compositions and taking photographs and listening to the sounds of nature and surrounding yourself in, a forest like this, for me, it just, all that stress just melts away. I must be in the mood for Bunchberry today, because I'm really finding a lot of compositions. The last composition was right here, and now I'm concentrating on just a small grouping just to the right here, and it's the same kind of theme. We have several really nice flowers, and then just the angles of the ferns moving into the frame. Yeah, it's just beautiful. I really love stuff like this. It's quite graphic. And of course the flowers, they're nice because they look so pure, and of course they've just opened up. They're nice and fresh, and then as the summer progresses, they'll slowly turn into red berries. And then in the fall, it'd be really great to come here in the fall, because sometimes the leaves turn bright red or purple and yellow. So, and then you get the contrast with the berries as well. So that's really nice. So who knows? Maybe I'll come back here in the fall and see what I can find here then, because it'll be a totally different kind of a subject matter. Anyway, I'm going to take this photograph, and then I'm going to go and look for Paul. I haven't seen him for a while. Hopefully a bear hasn't taken him, or a cougar or something. I'm sure he's just down the trail here, concentrating on the same thing as me. Anyway, I'm going to take this shot, and then we're going to have a look for him. Well, I didn't get very far. I'm still here. Oh, there he is. There's the man himself, Paul.
How's it going?
Good?
Good.
So you found anything?
Yeah, found some of those, what do you call them again?
Bunchberry.
Bunchberries. Bunch of berries.
Well, that's pretty much all there is.
Yeah, there's loads of them down here, isn't there?
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I love them. I found some down there with some more of these ferns, because we found these ferns yesterday as well. Well, it was more of those type down there.
Yeah.
Which are more fine.
No, you don't have an extension tube or anything like that. Do you have trouble focusing closer, or what are you going to do in that situation?
Well, I just tend to just accept the fact it's a limitation.
Yeah.
I just focus as close as I can, and then just crop in. That's all I can really do.
Okay.
I mean, other than having a lens specifically for it, that's all I can really do. But I just kind of accept that, and that's just the way it is.
Well, I guess you got 100 megapixels to work with, so.
Yeah, well, I've got 50, you've got 100.
Oh, right.
But even so, it's enough.
Yeah,
It's enough to work with.
I think, the problem I'm having, like, I have the extension tube, but it just seems to be on the cusp
Yeah.
Like with the extension tube, I have to get too close, and then without it, I'm too far away. So I'm gonna have to crop probably as well.
Yeah.
It'd be really great actually to have the macro lens, but it's just more stuff to carry.
Well, it is, and how often you kind of have to weigh up how often you kind of do shots like that as
well. Unless you plan it, like I mean, if you planned a shoot, like we knew we were going to come here this morning, so if you just happen to have the macro in your car,
Yeah.
then it'd be great for that. But you're right, like if on a general shoot, you're not going to carry another. Well, I'm not going to carry another lens. I mean, my bag's way too heavy as it is.
This is bad enough as well. Bad shoulder with it all.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't moved. I've only moved like 2 feet.
Yeah.
I've got a composition here, and then that's really nice right in there.
Yeah, it is. That's those finer ferns in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, really. I don't know what they're called, but they're really nice.
All right, so I'm gonna. Are you gonna go up here now?
Yeah,
Are
I'm
you?
gonna go further up the trail, see if I can find something else.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep going down this way.
Okay, mate. See you in a bit.
Yep. This is a beautiful scene. When I was here with Paul yesterday, we were both trying to find scenes with these. Now I'm not quite sure what kind of ferns they are, but they're very delicate. They kind of quiver in the wind, but they're so lime green, and they're such a nice texture compared to the flowers. Now I did see Paul hanging around here yesterday, and we were talking about how it was a bit of a problem because the ferns are quite a bit higher than the grouping of flowers down here. But I think I can make this work. Again, I'm going to have to focus stack because, like I said, the ferns are quite a bit higher, and even if I stop down to f22, there's just no way I can get everything in sharp focus. And again, it's one of those scenes that I think deserves to be sharp focus throughout. I think if the ferns were blurry in the foreground, probably wouldn't work so well. Absolutely love this scene. I'm glad I have an extension tube, because I could have put it on the 45 to 100. Now I have to get quite close, but that's not a problem because I'm trying to get everything in sharp focus anyway. But and I have quite, have a pretty decent working distance, but I just love this isolated flower here, and all the ferns tend to point towards it. The only thing I'm not keen on is this hole down here, but there is some leaves below it, so that kind of fills it in a little bit. But yeah, I really like this one. This one's turning out pretty nice. So I'll do some that are really close up, and then I might back off just a little bit as well, because sometimes it's nice to give you a bit of room to if you decide to crop it a different way than what you photograph it. So remember that. I mean, it's great to compose an image of a scene with how you want it exactly, but I've learned from experience it's not a bad idea to back off and give yourself some room so that you can crop later on, because sometimes compositions might be a bit tighter than what you remember. Anyway, great shot, or great scene should I say. I think it's going to be a pretty nice shot. Well, that was a really great morning. Bunchberry, beautiful. What do you think?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's everywhere. I've seen loads of it. online and seen a load of images of it, and I recognised it straight away and wanted to get a few images of it.
Yeah. It's funny because you walk down towards the waterfall, and there was quite a bit, but not like this. This is just carpets of it. So it's been brilliant. But I think I've had enough of Bunchberry for now. I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna go and have something to eat, and it's a good time to end this video. So thank you ever so much for watching, as always. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give me the old thumbs up. That's always appreciated. And if you'd like to support my channel in other ways, I have a whole bunch of things going on right now. I have a Patreon page where I show extra content from various locations and extra videos. I also have a bunch of merch on my website where I sell these hats. Paul's got the green one. Books, prints, all kinds of stuff, and it just helps keep the gas in my car, and it helps fix my van. So thank you ever so much for your support, and I will catch you in the next video. All right, till then, bye.
Bye bye.
Squirrel! Squirrel!